It's just weird. Okay. Getting back to my board game plays, folks. This is Matt, and this is another digital board game play. Today I'm going to be playing Evolution, which is one of the first of the modern board games that I've purchased, if I remember right. I've always played board games, but these are the games that I discovered in the stores. I was like, what is that about? And I go home and I look it up online, and it led me to different resources and websites and a lot of YouTube videos, and discovered that there's a whole hobby out there surrounding these modern board games. And this is one of the ones that really got me into it. Evolution is a game where you're basically evolving populations of species. They're all kind of generic. They're all kind of they're not specifically named or anything. You're just given traits and stuff. There's no, like, you're not playing Tyrannosaurus Rexes. You're not playing like woolly mammoths. But the idea is that these can be applied to like any species. You're trying to consume the most food, and through your population and your food consumption, that's how basically you win. Whoever has the most at the end of the game, whoever has the largest population with lots of abilities or adaptations, and then consume the most food over the course of the game. We're going to play this locally. I'm going to play against the AI. I like playing pass and play, but just to be quicker, I think it'd be easier for me just to play it. And I'm going to play against random hard AIs to give myself some kind of a challenge. It means I'm probably not going to win, but I'll be in contention. I'm good enough. If I get the right cards, I'll be in contention. If I played on the medium and lighter, easier ones, I'd probably be more likely to win. This game is playing with expansions. It has a lot of cards from promotional cards, as well as the climate expansion. The digital app does not include the flight expansion, which I find disappointing because I love a lot of the stuff that they put into the flight game. Not only can you play winged species, but a lot of the trait cards that they included were pretty cool and made it possible for a lot of different avenues of victory. But still, the climate's in this game, so that's still pretty neat. Okay. This is our feeding hole, ye old water hole. These are the 4 players, represented by these footprints. There is the weather chart. We will start off in the temperate zone, and all the cards have a little temperature thing. That's what these... Okay, let's go over what's on these cards for this stage. This game is played in a series of stages. The first stage, or the first thing you're going to do after you're given your new hand of cards, is you discard one of them into the food bank, into the watering hole, face down so nobody knows what it is. That's what this little green leaf number, the number that's in the green leaf symbol that's highlighted on the cards in my hand at the bottom of the screen, that's how much food you're contributing basically to the pool of food that's going to be available this turn. So you could put it on something that gives 6, 7, 8, 9 food, or you could get something that produces 0, or you could produce something that actually reduces the food pool total. If you're acting first, you're more likely to get access to the food. If you're like the 4th player, you're going to have everybody else is basically going before you. So if you're later in the turn order, you're definitely going to want to put in a higher number of food. And if you're early in the turn order, you might want to shorten it a little bit. But there's risks with both. Anyway, so the first thing you're doing on your turn is you're contributing 1 card from your hand, which you're not going to use for its ability. You're just contributing it for the food. That's in the basic game. With the evolution expansion, there's an additional factor that's on this, and that's the climate adjustment. All of the cards either have no climate adjustment, or they cool the temperature down, or they increase the temperature. So if you have this card like the cooling frills here, don't pay attention to the food at the top, the little icon. Just look at the little sun symbols that are on the left side there. It has 3 sun symbols. that means you're really pushing for a global warming effect. Insectivore has 3 cooling symbols, the little snowflakes. If you play this card as the food one, you're really pushing to cool the climate down. These other ones are only get a +1, so they're not going to have as much of an impact. Once the food is revealed, or at the beginning of the play stage of the game, in addition to the food being put into the pool, you'll add up all of the pluses and all of the negatives on this temperature scale for all the cards. And if it's in the negative, or cold, if it's cold, it doesn't matter, as long as if there's more cold than heating, then you're going to slide the temperature thing down into a slightly cooler temperature. If there's more suns than there are snowflakes, it's going to get warmer, and it's going to get 1 stage higher on the temperature gauge. It doesn't matter if there's 10 suns and one frost symbol. It's just you're either going to go up 1 or down 1. That's it. Or you can stay the same. If it's an equal number or there isn't any adjustment, you stay the same. The temperature, the scale here, has a few effects. Temperate doesn't have any effect. But if you go up or down just 1, if it gets a little bit cooler, then the total amount of food that's in the food pool will get reduced by 4. If it gets a little warmer, you actually add 4 more food to the food pool. That's what the little leaf symbol is on the bottom. As it gets colder, you see it kills off more and more plants and more animals. There's going to be a lot less food available in your food pool as it gets colder. When it gets warmer, it goes up. It goes up a lot. When it's tropical, there's very lush. But then it goes down a little bit. It's still in the positive because you're getting +6 if it's hot. But once it gets to the scorching level, then it becomes so hot that it's burning off all of the plant life. And then it's a dramatic drop of 20. Other things you're looking at is this little number combination and an X. As the temperatures get colder or warmer, you'll look at the body sizes of animals. And if it falls within this range, you're going to reduce a population of that animal by the number of X's. So, for instance, when you go from temperate to cool, there's no adjustment for that. But when you go to cool to cold, you're going to look at every species that's on the board that has a body size of 1 or 2, and then you're going to kill off 1 of their population. If it gets to freezing level, you're going to look at body sizes 1 through 4 and kill 2 populations from each of them. And that could wipe out an entire species. And if it gets to the Ice Age level, every body size, because the maximum body size in the game is 6, although that can be adjusted through certain abilities, will lose 4 population. Ice Age, that's why Ice Ages are such big killers, but larger animals have a tendency to survive in colder weather, which is why it kills off small creatures first. Smaller creatures have less body heat. They can't deal with the temperature changes as well. The reverse is true when it gets hotter. The first species to suffer are the large species. Very large species have a harder time dissipating heat, so they start dying off. Slowly at first, but they start dying off. Medium-sized creatures will die off when it gets to hot, and every species suffers once it gets to scorching. There's a very little odds that it's going to actually get to those extremes on its own, but it can happen. The problem is that, our targets, okay, I just noticed that. The other thing that you're looking at on this chart are these target cards. These trigger if you reach that stage, and I can probably say for a fair amount of certainty we're not going to see these because they're on the extremes. These would have an additional adjustment. Once you hit this effect happens first, and then this happens. So this is just an additional thing that changes. It also adjusts where the temperature goes. Because of once the Ice Age triggers, boom, you're going to hit this heat wave card, and you're going to move to a different section. The temperature gauge is going to go up a little bit, and you're going to move up. Likewise, volcanic eruption, basically after you're feeding, climate shifts to cold. From here, after this effect happens, we play through the feeding phase, and then the volcanic eruption moves us to cold. because of, again, thematically, the volcanoes have erupted. They're spewing forth all sorts of stuff into the atmosphere. That causes a reverse of the temperature from scorching to very cold because it's blocking out all this solar light. And then that's where the new adjustment takes place. But I'm explaining these cards. It really isn't that important because the odds are it's not going to hit there. There are a lot of these different cards that are in the game. You always play with two, one on the cool side, one on the hot side, but they could be in other places. They could be in warm or tropical or hot. These just happen to be set on these particular extremes. So this gameplay isn't probably going to have that in it, but just be aware that they're there. It is possible that we're all just going to really heat it up or really freeze it down. I am not playing first, am I? I'm trying to figure out where... Okay, first player is Propagatus Maxima. He's across the table from me, so I'm actually playing third. I gotta examine my abilities to see which ones I might want to use. I'm gonna try to get some food in there. Okay, so everything in this game happens in player order, and we don't know what's going on. We just know that this player up here played 3 abilities on its species. This player discarded one as well. You discard a card, you can put a new species into play, and then these 3 abilities came out. And this one put 2 new species into play and put an ability on one of them, and he also increased his population by 1. The green number is your population, and it's represented by the little empty dots down here. Those are where your food goes. In order to fully feed your population, every one of these dots needs to be filled in. If they're not, at the end of the turn, your population will decline to wherever they did get fed. So that's how much food they're going to need to survive. The blue number is your body size. Both of these numbers go from 1 to 6. Body size is important as a predator and as a defense against predation. Predators in this game need to be larger than the body size of their prey. That's true in nature as well. Species don't hunt animals larger than themselves without some kind of an evolutionary adaptation to do so. For instance, yes, wolves hunt deer and elk and moose, but they don't do it on their own. They only do it because they've adapted a pack hunting strategy, which enables a lot of them to hunt a larger animal and bring it down. Lions of the savannah do the same thing. Lions are able to hunt animals larger than themselves because they use that pack hunting evolutionary adoption. And the same goes for a lot of these other things. Basically, every rule that you have, there's an exception because of different traits. So body size is important. If you see somebody increasing the body size of their species, even though you don't know what cards they're playing down, there's a good chance they're putting a carnivore out there, which bells should be going off in your ears thinking, uh-oh, somebody's going to be out trying to hunt us. Because right now we all start off as non-meat eaters. Basically, there's carnivores and non-carnivores. The non-carnivores represent every other species, whether they're scavengers or insect eaters or they're plant eaters. Anything that's a non-carnivore, they don't hunt each other. Carnivores are their own special thing in a certain aspect of this game, and it's kind of a little bit controversial because carnivores basically hunt each other. But if they can't find enough prey out there, they might end up having to hunt their own fellow species. And body size helps you because if you increase your body size, that makes it harder for the carnivores to hunt you. So that's just a rundown of those 2 abilities. So these are the cards I have in my hand. I have Cooling Frills, which can prevent 3 population loss due to heat. So that protects you in the heat scale quite a ways. It also increases your body size +2 when determining if they can be attacked. It's an excellent defensive thing, and it has an environmental protection. It's a really good card. But if we end up going on the cooling side, it's kind of wasted. But the body size is a nice defense. Insectivore is a really good one. This is one of the promo cards. Before each of your feeding turns, you can take a meat food if there's food in the watering hole. The idea is that you're not hunting the the plants, you're hunting the insects that are around the watering hole. As long as there's food in the watering hole, you get basically a free meat. And that's always nice. Anytime you can get free food, it's great, because even if the watering hole dries up, it means you're getting a little bit of food. This one's nice too. Gigantism is another promo card. You gain a body size for every 2 food eaten this round. So this is a good one to add to if you want to increase your population, but you don't want to increase your size. As you can, after you've consumed 2 food, boom, your body size goes up. If you consume another 2 food, boom, your body size goes up again. It's a nice little ability. Trampling, on the other hand, is very destructive. Trampling, when this species takes food from the watering hole, you may immediately remove. You may, note, may immediately remove 2 food from the watering hole. The idea is you're getting your food, but you're destroying food in the process. You're trying to deny other players from being able to feed. So right now there's 5 species ahead of me, and now we're only going to feed one at a time, but these guys are trying to get a lot of species out. And if I only want to stick with one, I could do this and try to destroy the food to try to wipe their population out. That's one of the aspects I like. Some of the people complain that they don't like to take that part of this game, but I think it's a very realistic depiction of the way nature works. You're not always hunting other species. You're taking their food supply away, and they're dying off naturally. I'm definitely going to take Insectivore, and I want to take Gigantism. I don't think I'm going to take Trampling at this point, but I am going to do this because that will increase my body size. I don't think there's any carnivores that are going to be coming out right away, but just for sheets and giggles, I'm going to go ahead and put that on there as well. So I have 3 abilities on here, but I only have 1 species. Note that I'm going to be trying to get 2 food. This species is trying to get 1. This species is trying to get 1. These 2 species are trying to get 1, and this one's 2. You're going to draw cards your next turn equal to, I think I can't remember what the minimum is. It's like 3 cards plus the number of species or something like that. So putting out a lot of species means this player is going to draw a lot of extra cards. But right now, these are very bland creatures. They have no abilities. They're banking on the ability to draw something better. I'm banking on just creating 1 good species to start off with, and hopefully better things happen for me too. Oh, look at that. They discarded all of their cards to increase their species to the maximum of 5. Technically, I don't think there is a maximum in the physical version of the game, but the app only has space for so many species, so I think they max it at 5. That's very interesting, though. Not much food in here. So there's going to be some species that are not going to make it. I actually lost body size. Oh, actually, no, I got my free food, so I'm fine. But look at him. He lost 2 of his species. Everybody else managed to survive, but the one of them up here that had a body size of 2 actually shrank. So the next round. Now we're on the cooling side. I don't want it to keep getting cooler, so I'm going to try to heat it up by throwing in a trampoline. First player is moved, so now I'm the second player to act. See, this one went up in size. That's kind of scary. He could have gone carnivore. I'm not worried about it because my body size is 4, technically. Cards have different colorations. These are cards that can be played with carnivores, or they're carnivore abilities that have no function if you're not a carnivore. So they're kind of disposable cards for me. Pack hunting allows you to... This is the one that gives wolves and lions their advantage in hunting. They add their population to their body size when determining whether it can attack or not. Burrowing is a nice defensive card. If you're full, in other words, you're done eating, you can't be attacked. And you also prevent a population loss due to heat and cold because you're burrowing, you're underground. Invasive species. This species gains a population whenever another species makes an attack. But you have to discard it at the end of the round. It's a promo card. A lot of these are promo cards. And another trample. I don't like those abilities. I'm not sure whether he's going to come out with a predator. He also went up in size, but... oh, no, that's not size. That's his turtle shell. He's got a hard shell. Gives him a +4 body size for defense. Doesn't affect anything else. He can't use that to attack. I would like another species just to get some things going here. Actually, I want it on the other side. I don't want to use trample. I'm not worried about him getting attacked. I am worried about him getting attacked. Alright. Hopefully we get enough food in the watering hole. We didn't get a whole lot of food last time. People got a little chintzy. He jacked up his population. Okay, we got 2 carnivores. That's... Okay, well, let's see what happens here. My species might be dead right away if he decides to attack. He didn't. Well, that was a mistake on his part. Because now he's protected. Because he's underground. He's protected because he's so big. Ah, carnivores turned on each other. That's good. Got rid of one of them. I'm fully fed. But see, there's still food in there. Ideally, you want to be fully fed and have no food left in here because this is giving them chances to gain more food. Now I'm the first player. Got a couple extra cards. I could go carnivore. We got migratory, which is a really good one to if you have low population, or if you have low food left in the food hole. It prevents a population loss for heat and cold, and once the last species is fed, you take 2 plant food as if the watering hole was empty. The idea is that you're moving around from place to place. Long neck is one of the base cards. It's fantastic because it gives you a free plant food at the beginning of a round. Coprophagia. This is a dung beetle's ability. This species takes food from your food bag to avoid starvation. So that's not an ideal thing, but it keeps you from dying. But basically, you're regurgitating your food over again. You're eating dung. Hard shell is good for defense, and then there's claws, which is increases body size when you're an attacker. So if it can attack or be attacked, so it's both defensive and offensive. If I want to get the most food into the watering hole, I really want to put the hard shell in there, so that's what I'm going to do. Alright, I'm putting long neck with my burrowing, and I'm going to increase the body size, or population, to 2. So at the beginning of the round, he's going to get 1 food, and I'm acting first. He'll eat, and he'll be fully fed and protected from any carnivores. As far as my other population goes, I want to up his size again. I want to up his 1, 2, 1, 2. That'll increase it to maximum, so he doesn't actually have to do anything else. The question is, do I want to add a new species? So with that, he gets an additional +2, so he's actually a 4. So unless this guy increases his size 2 spaces or puts a special ability out there, he should be protected too. And this gives me a 3rd species. So then you wait for everybody else to put their stuff on their cards, and once everybody's done that, you reveal the cards. Different things trigger at different times. Then we reveal the cards that get put into the watering hole, and so forth. Everything, it works really smoothly. There is no physical board in the board game version. It's actually more of a card game. There's a tile. There's a cardboard tile that basically represents the watering hole, but this whole background stuff, this is just part of the app. Okay. We're on the warm, so now because it's warm, that's why we have such a huge amount of food in here. So he's going to go ahead and have his food. See what the carnivore does. Oh, he used his ability to ignore mine. but it was a one-time use. He had to attack his own species because it was the only one he could attack. Starved a little bit. I'm doing okay. I wish I had some abilities that kind of assisted each other. I'm not getting a lot of the... I'm not getting cooperative abilities. Okay, so where are we at? We're at warm. Do I want to push it higher? I kind of do. Just to, I don't know. Hurt a little population. It's one of the high food ones. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do that. Now I'm acting last, so I get to kind of get an idea of what everybody else is doing. Oof, he is really getting aggressive. Yeah, see, that's the ability he used last turn. It's just a one-time thing. That's why he ignored my my creature's ability. I'm not using it, though. Boom. I need prevent 2 from starvation. That's not bad. Okay, this species can't be... This is symbiosis. This species cannot be attacked if the species to the right of it has a larger body size. That's kind of overdoing it with that one. Give him a little bite there, a little bit of claws. There we go. That's helpful. That's body fat. Body fat will enable it to store extra food up to its body size. So his natural body size is 6 now. So he can store 6 food on here in excess of whatever it is he feeds. Next round, any of the food that's on body fat will fill this in, his active food in. So it kind of slows down your engine a little bit, but it lets you bank a much larger amount of food. The idea is that you want to try to consume as much of this as possible, leaving other species out here starving. Symbiosis is very good. I just don't know whether I want to... You can play cards over other cards. I just feel like it's a waste. Because he's already got the burrowing. He doesn't need burrowing and symbiosis. I guess symbiosis... Because symbiosis is better, but burrowing does give him a little bit of an environmental defense. But I also got hibernation here, so I could give him hibernation. That's just preventing for cold and starvation, which I'm not too worried about right now. So I think I'm gonna... Dang it. I think I am gonna plop that in there. I might replace burrowing next round, but I'm not gonna do it now because these aren't good ones to use. So then do I want to get rid of these for population or get rid of them for body size, or one of both? Gain a body... Well, his body size ability isn't doing anything now. Yeah. We'll see. See how this plays. That's a lot of food. It's definitely getting hotter. Now we're into the tropical zone, which is going to hurt all the big populations. But because we had environmental protection, I didn't lose anything. So that's good. That is good. I'm just letting him use his insectivore over and over again. and eaten and eaten. Well, he died off. He didn't find anybody he could hunt. Okay, we got some good defensive cards for the heat. We got Mud Wallowing, Migratory. Okay, what do I want to put in for food? Claws. I want Migratory to get its ability, but I really want things to cool down, so maybe I won't. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and use that. I actually should have put something out there with less food on it, because right now there's way too much food on there, so we need to find a way of getting more food. Right now there's no carnivores out there that we know of. That doesn't necessarily mean ones won't come out. Throw them out there. It's gonna get hotter again. Alright, we're into the hot zone. Gotta have those environmental defenses. He managed to prevent one of the losses, but definitely gonna have to make these guys bigger to absorb the losses. Okay. Well, there's no carnivore, so it really doesn't matter who I feed. Yeah, I love cooperation. Cooperation lets you feed down the line. One species eats, then the one next to it eats, then the next to that eats. Yeah, we're getting a lot of food. Last round. This is it. I got one cooperation card. I do not want a high population of food out there. We're going to try to spoil the pool, if you will. Alright, we need to increase some body size or population sizes to absorb some of this. Okay, prevent one population loss due to heat. Oh, unfortunately, we don't have a lot of environmental defense cards here. So I'm going to have to jack these populations up, because if it goes up again, we're going to lose 4 population. Ugh, this is bad. Let's see, he's going to prevent 1 loss, and that's it, so I need to jack that up. I'm going to have to say that one's going to die. I'm just going to have to let that species go. It's not going to make it to the round. He's only got a body size of 1. He's got a body size of 3. It's more important to protect the species that have a larger, more to lose. This is a lot of points. It's a large body size. It's got a lot of cards on it. This card is completely disposable to me. I'm just expecting it to die off from the heat. This one might too. I'm hoping maybe it'll survive. I think a lot of small body sizes will definitely help this round if we get hotter. If it gets cooler, we're actually in pretty good shape. Oh, it's going to get hotter again. Alright, well, we're going to get a volcanic eruption, too. Watch the population pool deplete. Oh. Oh. Four population drains. Yeah, that sucked. That sucked. Gotta draw a bunch of cards for it, but yeah. Uh-oh. Oh, yes, we're gonna get the last feed. Woo, we're fully fed. Barely. Oh, we had a really good last round. That might just be enough to win. It's gonna be close, though. I can tell it's gonna be very close. Okay, so you get points for... Oh, wow, that went fast. I did. So, you get so many points for the number of traits on your active species. I managed to keep a couple of good ones out there, so that got me 8 points. That's good. You get a certain number of points for your total population. I managed to get a 6, which is great for considering how many species got wiped out. This is how many points you get from the meat you ate, and this is how many points from the plants you ate. So we did well in all 4 stages, just enough to get us the win. Oh, that was awesome. So that's one game of evolution. Let me see if I can show some other things that are in this app. They have so many little things in it. There's a lot of different modes. You can play. There's online games. There's daily challenges where you try to beat an opponent in a certain way, like defeat. Oh, that might be in some of the other challenges, actually. Yeah, because there's a local game where you can do weekly challenges. In the weekly challenge, win a game without using defense cards. Some weeks it's win without using any meat or any carnivores, or only eating food that came from the watering pool or whatever. There'll be a lot of different little challenges, and they keep them updated. So as long as they keep sending out new stuff, it's pretty cool. Sketches, these are unlockable from when they originally played the game, as you made different combinations. Like this species, somebody actually drew these, is a combination of carnivore, fat tissue, and intelligence. He's pudgy, he's a meat eater, but he's smart. So he's got a big head, he's a meat eater, but he's really chunky. Down here is a fertile, defensive herding forager. There's a lot of them. Therefore, they're fertile. They huddle together, defensive herding, and they're foragers. They're like big ant eaters in this particular case. Each one of these is an animal that somebody drew based on its abilities of what it might look like. A carnivore with ambush and fat tissue. It's kind of camouflaged. A scavenger with symbiosis and cooperation. That's what this little lettuce-like creature is down here. He's adapted to getting food when these little rabbits eat. Or maybe that's what the little rats are in the background. I don't know. A burrowing, long-necked fat tissue. A carnivore, ambush, intelligence. We got a fertile symbiosis forager. A warning call. They're like screaming out loud. They have a hard shell. And they use cooperation. This is a carnivore, pack hunting, and fertile. They're little babies, like some kind of a crazed kangaroo meat eater. A cooperation symbiosis with warning call. That's a weird one. It's 2 different species working together. Foraging, fat tissue, cooperation. Carnivore, climbing, pack hunters. Carnivore, ambush, pack hunters. long neck foraging cooperators, carnivore pack hunting with intelligence. Oh, I've never seen that one before. The wolves, werewolves. Foraging long neck defensive herding, makes sense. Defensive herding scavenger cooperation. Climbing hard shell fat tissue, that's an interesting one. Warning call horns and cooperation. Fertile horns and foraging. Anyway, these are just different species that basically they have the artwork for. They got unlocked through different plays. This is where I got the different promo cards that are available. Rankings. There is a campaign mode on this you can play through. Yeah. In the campaign, I've already played through the whole thing, but it takes you through, it kind of teaches you some of the strategies and some of the cards. It only uses the base game, though, the basic stuff, so it won't teach you like a lot of the advanced stuff. I played through this several years ago. I don't even remember everything that's in here. But it does basically takes you through different multiple games. So like in the game 1, you're doing co-evolution. It's a great way to learn how to play if you've never played it. I had played the card game before. I actually own the physical version of this game, and I played it quite a bit before I ever had this video game. To me, the video game just allows you to play it a lot more often because you don't need other humans to play with. You can just play against the AI, and the AI in this game is pretty good. There's going to be times when you just get completely destroyed, and there's going to be times when you do really well. The challenges make it a lot harder, though, I will say. And this game, the campaign kind of has challenges-esque. It's kind of they kind of have different things that they'll set. You have to win in a certain way, but you learn how to play and you learn how to utilize the cards. You learn the cards and the strategy involved. So there's a lot of stuff with this app. It's a pretty good app. I haven't checked the price recently. I don't know what it's selling for, but that's Evolution. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thanks.